Bring the good old bugle, boys, and sing another song. Sing it with the spirit that will start the world along. Sing it as we used to sing it, 50,000 strong, while we were marching through Georgia. Hurrah, hurrah, we bring the Jubilee. Hurrah, hurrah, the flag that makes you free. So we sang the chorus from Atlanta to the sea, while we were marching through Georgia. How the darkies shouted when they heard the joyful sound. How the turkeys gobbled which our commissary found. How the sweet potatoes even started from the ground, while we were marching through Georgia. Hurrah, hurrah, we bring the Jubilee. Hurrah, hurrah, the flag that makes you free. So we sang the chorus from Atlanta to the sea, while we were marching through Georgia. Yes, and there were Union men who wept with joyful tears when they saw the honored flag they had not seen for years. Hardly could they be restrained from breaking forth in cheers, while we were marching through Georgia. Hurrah, hurrah, we bring the Jubilee. Hurrah, hurrah, the flag that makes you free. So we sang the chorus from Atlanta to the sea, while we were marching through Georgia. Sherman's dashing Yankee boys will never reach the coast, so the saucy rebels said, and 'twas a handsome boast. Had they not forgot, alas, to reckon with the host, while we were marching through Georgia. Hurrah, hurrah, we bring the Jubilee. Hurrah, hurrah, the flag that makes you free. So we sang the chorus from Atlanta to the sea, while we were marching through Georgia. So we cut a thoroughfare for freedom and her train, 60 miles in latitude, 300 to the main. Treason fled before us, for resistance was in vain, while we were marching through Georgia. Hurrah, hurrah, we bring the Jubilee. Hurrah, hurrah, the flag that makes you free. So we sang the chorus from Atlanta to the sea, while we were marching through Georgia. Hurrah, hurrah, we bring the Jubilee. Hurrah, hurrah, the flag that makes you free. So we sang the chorus from Atlanta to the sea, while we were marching through Georgia. Excellent job.
You too.
Oh, a drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. No, a drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. A drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. And a nice cold mug of beer wouldn't do us any harm. No, a nice cold mug of beer wouldn't do us any harm. A nice cold mug of beer wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind, and we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. And a plate of Irish stew wouldn't do us any harm. No, a plate of Irish stew wouldn't do us any harm. A plate of Irish stew wouldn't do us any harm, and we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. And a little dram of wine wouldn't do us any harm. No, a little dram of wine wouldn't do us any harm. A little dram of wine wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. And we'll all hang on behind. And a little glass of gin wouldn't do us any harm. No, a little glass of gin wouldn't do us any harm. A little glass of gin wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. And we'll all hang on behind. And a night upon the town wouldn't do us any harm. No, a night upon the town wouldn't do us any harm. A night upon the town wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. And we'll all hang on behind. And a drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. No, a drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. A drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. And we'll all hang on behind. Hey!
Got a good chorus to it.
Sit down, and where it lights, there's music there in that part of the town. Hey Nellie, oh Nellie, listen close to me. I'll sing for you and play for you a dulcet melody. Hey Nellie, oh Nellie, listen close to me. I'll sing for you and play for you a dulcet melody.
Walford, Harry Bly. Oh, Mrs. McGrath, the sergeant said, would you like to make a soldier under your suntan? Scarlet coat and a big cocked hat. Now, Mrs. McGrath, would you like that? With me to Raya, hooray, hooray, hooray. Whistle along and come in on the chorus whenever you want to. Now Mrs. McGrath lived by the seashore for the space of 7 long years or more, till a great big ship came sailing in the bay. This my son Ted, will you clear the way with me to Raya, Follow-diddle-da, hooray, hooray, hooray. Oh, Captain dear, where have you been? Have you been sailing on the Mediterranean? Have you any news of my son Ted? The poor boy living, or is he dead? Hooray-ya, follow-diddle-da, hooray, hooray, hooray-ya. Head up still Ted without any legs, in their place 2 wooden pegs. She kissed him a dozen times and 2, saying, holy Moses, but is it you with me? Hooray-ya, follow-diddle-da, hooray, hooray, hooray-ya. Now was you drunk or was you blind? You left your 2 fine legs behind. It wasn't for walking by the sea. Took your 2 fine legs on the knees away with me. Hooray-ya, la-la-dee-da, hooray, hooray, hooray-ya. No, I was not drunk and I was not blind when I left my 2 fine legs behind. Cannonball on the 5th of May, took my 2 fine legs from the knees away with me. Hooray-ya, follow-diddle-da, hooray, hooray, hooray-ya. Oh, Teddy, me boy, the widow cried, your 2 fine legs were your mother's pride. The stumps of a tree wouldn't do at all. Why didn't you run from the cannonball with me? Hooray-ya, follow-diddle-da, hooray, hooray, hooray-ya. All foreign wars I do declaim, between Don John and the King of Spain. I heaven I'll make them rue the time that they swept the legs from a child of mine with me. Hooray-ya, follow-diddle-da, hooray, hooray, hooray-ya. Now if I had me boy again, I'd never let him go to fight the King of Spain. I'd rather me son as he used to be than the King of France and your whole navy with me. Hooray-ya, follow-diddle-da, hooray, hooray, hooray-ya, with me. Hooray-ya, follow-diddle-da, hooray, hooray, hooray-ya. Yip, yip. You always have to yip, that's an Irish song, you know. Anybody here with some Irish in them?
Good day, folks. We're at the Funkstown reenactment, and this is an artillery display for our ordnance. Today we have 12-pound mountain howitzers with us, and which is actually a very popular cannon for the time period. Actually, more of them were made than Napoleon's. They were actually a more versatile gun. Their advantage was you could hit anything you could see, and they threw canister just as well as a big Napoleon. Now, starting off here, this is a 12-pound mountain howitzer sabot for canister. All right. Normally this would be a tin can riveted on the wood sabot. All right. These are 69 caliber balls. There would be 144 to 157 balls per round. There would be sawdust packed in between the balls. This is done this way so you can see what the thing would have looked like on the inside. All right. Now this is the 12-pounder Grapeshot. And this is how it was made. It would be loaded in as this, assembled as is. The bolt would break when it would hit, and all the balls, the plates, these rings would all go flying out. There's 9 of these balls in, so they're 2 inches in diameter. And what they hit, they ruined. Okay, now this is a 32-pound spherical shell. It's non-explosive. It's solid iron. And believe me, it does weigh 32 pounds. You do not want to get in the way of it. The idea with this was, as the infantry was marching across the field, they would fire this so it would skip across the ground. The idea was to take off as many legs as you could of the infantry as they march across the field. Now this is a 12-pounder spherical shell, but it has a Borgman primer, all right? It was made of lead. The fuse runs underneath here, all right? You would use this tool to punch in for the number of seconds you wished it to travel before it would explode in the air. The idea was to have this just over their heads when it would go off. The shrapnel would take out as many people as possible that way. All right? This is a Reed Parrott 10-pounder. And this is a solid shot. It was very great for punching holes into fortifications. All right? This is a Federal Reed Parrott for a 10-pounder. Now this is set up with the Federal fuse holder, and this would use a paper fuse right here. That would be inserted into the hole, all right? The idea was there'd be enough fire coming around the shell. When it be fired, it would catch the fuse. And you could cut this fuse to different lengths for different times. The same idea. Try to get it close to over their heads and have it explode over the heads of the infantry, or cavalry for that matter, coming across the field. And as you see, this is slotted. That's how the Federals did it. And we have a tool for taking out and putting in the fuse mount. They use the slotted. The Confederates use a 2-prong spanner. And the principle is the same thing. Still a paper fuse, like here, would be cut to length, inserted, it would be fired. The firing of the shell would ignite the fuse, and if everything was timed right, it would explode above your target. This here is a good example of showing how the shell worked. Your fuse would set here. Once it burned down to here, it would ignite this powder charge here, and of course you have all these lead balls or steel balls depending on who made it. All right. This is the most popular grenade, hand grenade, in the Civil War. More of these were made than any other by both sides. It's the Ketchum hand grenade. This is a 3-pound version. They made it at the start of the war in the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5-pounder. By the end of the war, you basically found 1-pounders, 3-pounders, and 5-pounders. The 5-pounders were used mainly aboard naval ships when they were trying to board each other. The idea is very simple. Fin stabilized so it would hit on the front. You had a detonation pin. Inside here you would place a musket cap on a nipple. Just about anything this thing would land on would set it off. Even accounts of it hitting soft mud would set it off. All right. This is the most second popular. It's a 2-pound. It has a 42-inch cloth tail. That's how they kept it, so it would land on here. Same principle. There's a musket cap underneath here. It would land on that, set the grenade off. And it's a nice cast iron, made very good fragments to fly through the air. All right. This is a 12-pound Federal shell. It has the Borgman primer in it. And again, this is primarily for anti-infantry, anti-cavalry. Some would be fired out of motors, but a motor is a short-range, long duration flight, so you'd be cutting it for the longest fuse setting you could get out of it. Again, the idea, you want it to explode before it hits the ground. All right. Now this is, well, the proper name is land torpedo. All right. We call it a landmine here because most people don't understand what torpedo means. Torpedo means it's an explosive device. All right. It was loaded with gunpowder here. Underneath here, all right, underneath this safety cap is a thin membrane of copper. Underneath that copper is large grains of mercury fulminate. The thing about mercury fulminate, you crack a crystal, it goes boom. And it doesn't take much weight to do that. These were very effective during the Peninsula Campaign. McClellan wanted his cavalry to press the retreating Confederates hard as they withdrew. His cavalry were not pressing them hard because the Confederates were planting these mines behind them. And their justification when McClellan kept bothering was the troopers were tired of seeing the tops of trees. And fortunately for the trooper, he was riding a horse. So the one that got probably the worst part of it was the horse. Now, back here we have your leveler, which you would set on the back of your cannon barrel to check the level of your gun. It's more accurate if you have it level. All right. Now this I thought was rather ingenious of them, and it actually works very well. This is a rangefinder, and it uses the height of the person you're going to be shooting at. You take this, butt in your teeth, you hold this out, and you find where along this triangle opening fits your target from head to toe. And then you just read off how many yards out he is.
So it's used primarily for...
It's of artillery.
Sharpshooters use those a lot?
They did have ones for the sharpshooters. They're a little smaller than this.
Excuse me. We're having a meeting up at the pavilion at 1
Okay,
about the battle this afternoon.
okay,
Colonel just wanted me to run down and let you know.
all right.
Thank you.
But it's surprisingly accurate. It worked very well. Some of them, like for the snipers, they'd have it marked one side, infantry, the other side cavalry. All right, because a cavalryman on a horse was a certain height, pretty much.
That's how many hands a horse was, right?
Yeah, well,
You can
they
judge
tended to fall within a certain range. You'd be close enough that you could set your sights to they hit the rider. All right. This is another sighting device. Goes on the back of the cannons. Like over here, it sets in the cradle, and it allows you to set your range. All right. By the increments that are marked on it, you can set the range for the elevation to get it right for the distance you're going to be shooting. They had it pretty well figured out. Yeah. Nice thing about those is, in civilian use, they figured out that the same things would work to get estimates on the distance across rivers like that, so they could plan bridges. So at least it had a peaceful use as well as the military. All right. Of course, calibers. Some manufacturers weren't exactly scrupulous. You might want to check your piece to make sure, yeah, that is the right size for.
Make sure you're not too tight.
Yeah. You could set it for the size and run it all over it, because if it was egg-shaped too much, it could jam in the barrel and cause your cannon to explode when you tried firing it. So a good cannon crew checked as much as they could to try to be safe. All right. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. That
Kill more Yankees. They're like goobers. One is never enough.
was
Come today in the park.
All right, wave, everybody wave. Okay, there we go. Would you like to hear my song? I'm afraid it's rather long. Of the famous road to Richmond double trouble, of the half a dozen trips and the half a dozen slips, and the very latest bursting of the bubble. It is mighty hard to sing, and like a rolling ring, 'tis a dreadful knotty puzzle to unravel. Though all the papers swore when we reached Virginia's shore that Richmond is a hard road to travel. So pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel. Yes, pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel, I believe. Lincoln said to Pope, you can make the trip, I hope, and save the universal Yankee nation. To make sure of no defeat, I'll leave no lines of retreat, and I'll issue a famous proclamation. But that same dreaded Jackson, that fellow laid his wax on, and made him by compulsion a seceder, till Pope took rapid flight in the middle of the night, 'twas his very last appearance as a leader. So pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel. Yes, pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel, I believe. Last of all, Burnside with his pontoon bridges tried a road no one had thought of before him, with 200,000 men for the rebel slaughter pen, and the blessed Union flag a-waving o'er him. And they met a fire like hell from canister and shell that mowed down his men with great slaughter. 'Twas a dreadful sight to view, that second Waterloo, and the river ran with more blood than water. So pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel. Yes, pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel, I believe. Perplexed to see who is the next to command the next Richmond expedition. For the capital must blaze, and all in 90 days, and Jeff and his men sent to perdition. And when we take the town, we will surely burn it down, and plunder and hang each cursed rebel. For the contraband was right when he said that they would fight. Them rebels, they will fight like the devil. So pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel. Yes, pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel, I believe. So pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel. Yes, pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel, I believe. So pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel. Pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel, I believe. So pull off your greatcoat, roll up your sleeve, Richmond is a hard road to travel.
We're tenting tonight on the old campground. Give us a song to cheer our weary hearts, a song of home and friends we love so dear. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tenting tonight, tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. We've been tenting tonight on the old campground, thinking of days gone by, on the loved ones at home that gave us the hand and the tear that said goodbye. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tenting tonight, tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. We are tired of war on the old campground. Many are dead and gone. Of the brave and true who've left their homes, others been wounded long. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tenting tonight, tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. We've been fighting today on the old campground. Many are lying near. Some are dead and some are dying. Many are in tears. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tenting tonight, tenting tonight, tenting on the old campground. Dying tonight, dying tonight, dying on the old campground. All quiet along the Potomac tonight, except here and there a stray picket is shot as he walks on his beat to and fro by a rifleman hid in the thicket. 'Tis nothing, a private or two now and then will not count in the news of the battle. Not an officer lost, only one of the men, moaning out all alone a death rattle. All quiet along the Potomac tonight. All quiet along the Potomac tonight, where the soldiers lie peacefully dreaming, and their tents in the rays of the clear autumn moon, and the light of the campfires are gleaming. There's only the sound of the lone sentry's tread as he tramps from the rock to the fountain, and thinks of the two on the low trundle bed, far away in the cot on the mountain, all quiet along the Potomac tonight. His musket falls slack, his face dark and grim, grows gentle with memories tender, as he mutters a prayer for the children asleep, and their mother, may heaven defend her. The moon seems to shine as brightly as then, that night when the love yet unspoken leapt up to his lips, and when low murmured vows were pledged to be ever unbroken, all quiet along the Potomac tonight. Then drawing his sleeve roughly over his eyes, he dashes off the tears that are welling, and gathers his gun close up to his breast, as if to keep down the heart swelling. He passes the fountain, the blasted pine tree, and his footstep is lagging and weary. Yet onward he goes through the broad belt of light, toward the shades of the forest so dreary, all quiet along the Potomac tonight. Hark, was it the night wind that rustles the leaves? Was it the moonlight so wondrously flashing? It looked like a rifle, how merry goodbye, and his lifeblood is ebbing and plashing. All quiet along the Potomac tonight, no sound save the rush of the river, while soft falls the dew on the face of the dead. The pickets off duty forever, all quiet along the Potomac tonight, all quiet along the Potomac.